Hello everybody. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing the Everything Wrong with Lady in the Devil May Cry Netflix anime adaptation. Now, if you haven't already, again, I've done a full review of this anime series. It's on my channel. It's about 50 minutes long. I cover everything from the starting scene to the ending scene. I pretty much kind of freeze frame every scene that I talk about. And if you've got time, go check it out. I think you'll see a lot more information in there. Today we're going to kind of just go through this really quickly to not take up too much of your time. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, the girl boss babe attitude doesn't fit her tragic upbringing whatsoever. It's amazing that you can fuck this up so badly. So first off, we'll be talking a bit about this later, but Lady's humanity is a big talking point in this review that I'm doing of her character, because she seems to have no humanity whatsoever as the signature character with the most humanity in canon. So next we've got I Am Woman, Hear Me Fucking Roar kicks in every episode. Next, we've got used her signature rocket launcher once. This kind of didn't make any sense to me whatsoever, that it just kind of appeared at the end with no context behind it. Next, we've got more durability than any human I've ever seen. Tanks a grenade to the face, rolls off a 30-foot drop across her ribs. This was the scene where she was trying to separate herself from Dante, and I touched on this in my review video. It is absolutely insane how powerful the human characters are in this series, especially Lady, considering she's at her youngest state that we know of her, even from canon. This is a really young lady, and she's casually, next pointer, takes on Agni and Rudra and Echidna, 3 bosses from 2 different games in the series, the same lady who couldn't defeat the motorcycle demon in the anime, or Trish, who was pretty much just touring with her in the anime. It's just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable that this character, who's a adolescent human female, is casually battling Agni and Rudra and Echidna at the same time. It's incredible, because in the original DMC anime from 2007, she couldn't even defeat a standardized demon on the highway who was mimicking a motorcycle. She actually had to rely on Dante and tricked him into helping her, because she didn't want to admit it from the very beginning that, hey, I kind of need your help with this, because she has a lot of ego. And that's okay. You know why? Because she's human. Next, we've got, she says fuck every other word. Cringe for her character. Now, I don't mind cussing in anime. I don't care. Like, look, I really don't. You can have an anime where the main character says fuck every sentence, and that's okay. The only problem is when it doesn't fit the character that you're supposed to be replicating, which I touched on in my other video for the Dante review, is Adai Shankar did say this was not going to be canon, alternate universe, alternate timeline. However, he did say that he worked with Capcom to ensure the portrayal of characters to their fullest accuracy possible, and we see none of that, and that's the biggest problem with this show. And I go into more of that in other videos, so. Working for the federal government in a ragtag group of Overwatch cosplaying mercenaries doesn't fit her character whatsoever, because it doesn't. It's absolutely, again, unbelievable how badly they wrote her character in this series. Now, this is kind of odd. Early in the series, when she's in the, I believe it's a limousine, it's a black car, she's seen wearing her outfit, I think from Devil May Cry 5, in one of the initial scenes, but then switches to her cosplay Overwatch costume for the rest of the anime. A real bummer right here. It's actually, I actually didn't even notice she was in her outfit, because I was so used to seeing her in that dumpster fire of a fit they threw her in, until somebody actually commented that she actually was in her one of her OG attires in the beginning of the show. So, interesting. Next, we've got she's not feminine at all and has received the same treatment as Ciri from the new Witcher 4 that we've seen, as in they've gutted her beauty because of the bastardization of beautiful women in gaming, as she looks like a male-to-female transgender and has no titties. Lady always had pretty big tits, especially in 4 in the anime, and there's a reason why, because men like this. I don't know if you guys knew this or if there's any women watching this, but yes, your boyfriends, your fathers, your guys in your life like to see girls with tits, especially in anime and games. And that we have this bastardization happening in the West of our American and European culture, where you have women who work on these projects in the developer roles who are really fat, really overweight, and put Kool-Aid in their hair, and they cannot handle the fact that their boyfriend at home might jerk off or want to get interested in these really hot animated characters, because they're just really glorified in self-pity. So that's kind of what's happening to our culture. It's being completely wrecked. And again, Lady carries 0 feminine traits in the show by her visually, which is one thing, which is a big one, and then by her actions. She carries 0 feminine energy whatsoever in a show that honestly needed it. Anyways, next pointer, we've got she has all the answers and cracks every puzzle, but is oblivious to the fact that the Batman-voiced president guy is up to no good. Literally. So if you remember in the beginning of the show, the vice president character voiced by Batman, rest in peace, Kevin Conroy, he's alluding to the fact that he wants to harness basically Dante's power for clearly something that's no good. I mean, it's so obvious that even Lady, and you see this in my review, is shocked by what he's saying to her, but she just continues to go along with it, completely out of character, knowing what's at stake. And then towards the end of the show, after the rabbit's defeated, we see a scene where Lady is still kind of trying to get Dante to hand over his amulet to this same vice president character who is clearly completely evil with bad intentions. It's so obvious. It's actually insane how obvious it is. But you know what, Dante, you should give him it because, you know, you just should. Again, terrible writing. Next, we've got there's no sassiness to her character, which she's very well known for, especially in DMC 4 and the original anime. And yes, again, sassy women in anime and games can be pretty attractive. Can't have that. Can't do that. Mrs. Blue Hair in development over at Netflix wouldn't have liked that. She wouldn't have liked to see titties bouncing either. Can't have that. Next, we've got immediately after hearing some bullshit about good demons, hops on the bandwagon of caring about the good demons. Despite her childhood tragedy involving her father, this breaks the plot on her character harder than anything else easily. To sum it up, Lady would never have trusted demons, and only after Dante proved himself by defeating her father and his own brother did she learn a good demon could exist, and Dante was that good demon to her. But it took the duration of an entire game and so many tragedies throughout the game to bring her around. Unlike this rush shit we see in this anime, again, you cannot convince me that Lady would have immediately agreed that yes, these demons are perfectly normal. They're just outsider refugees. We have to love them. We have to protect them. We have to care for them. This is Insert Politics Here by Netflix and Ed I. Shankar, so both of you go and fuck yourselves. Anyways, yeah, Lady would never have sucked up to the demons this fast. There's not a universe where this would have ever happened in any fucking timeline of her character because of what happened to her in her childhood. Next, we've got seemingly trusts anyone except Dante, including the perceived, quote, good demons, and the vice president throughout every scene in the show. But hey, we can't have a strong female lead fall behind. You know why? Because I Am Woman, Hear Me Fucking Roar is precedent today in media culture. We cannot have a female character fall behind the male lead, or else Netflix's panties get all wadded up in a bunch. So, yeah. Next pointer we've got leads her entire unit into a trap, losing everybody, and seemingly carries zero remorse or guilt, but this is supposed to be Lady, who's arguably the most human main character in the original DMC universe, more so than Dante, Trish, and Nero. And this is probably my biggest problem with Lady's character. For Dante, it was his devil trigger, if you've seen that video. For Lady, she is the most human character in canon of the original cast, of the main cast, and she is a part of the main cast, of course. I would say the main cast is like Dante, Virgil, Nero, Lady, Trish. And she is definitely the character with the most humanity. I mean, when you see what she went through in Devil May Cry 3 and the emotion she felt in her character, I mean, it was like, even Dante, who in 3 was seemingly the least caring version of himself as far as character because he was so young, he was just a hard-ass teenager pretty much. At a certain point, even he couldn't even be bothered to mess with her anymore. Like in the beginning, he was toying with her, hurting her feelings, picking on her, but it got to a point where he could see how badly damaged this person was and how absolutely brutally destroyed she was, and that she was pretty much on the precipice of, like, I guess what you would almost call self-harm, because of how tragic her story was. And in this show, there's no humanity in this character at all, and that's my biggest problem with her character. And I think the way they wrote her character is even worse than how they wrote Dante, honestly. There's more things wrong with Dante, but when you break down the actual writing and the character itself, I think Ladies is the worst in the show. And I will be doing a ranking of characters, and I don't know, I just think Lady, the way they portrayed her, I cannot believe that she had no humanity out of episode 6, which episode 6 to me was some of the worst shit I've ever seen in anime history. I asked myself, was I watching Teen Titans Go? However, the scene with her father and her mother, that was very emotional. And the fact is that we never seen that humanity again is an absolute crater of a plot hole. And again, I don't know really what else to say about it. That bothers me a lot with this character, but I'm going to leave it there for this video. If you liked it, please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you thought. Go check out my other DMC videos. I've got more coming, and all of you take care. Thanks for watching.